Aurora alert. Incoming solar storm could spark northern lights in upper Midwest skies this week. These aurora chasers are on high alert for minor geomagnetic storm conditions from January 24th through to January 25th. Northern lights might be visible over some northern and upper Midwest states. This incoming solar storm, also known as coronal mass injection, erupted from the Sun on January 21st and is currently on track to strike Earth within the glance of a blow on January 24th and January 25th. The possible impact could spark minor geomagnetic storm conditions and possible northern lights at high latitudes such as the northern Michigan area. These space weather prediction centers forecast index will peak at 5:33 over the next 48 hours. The G1 geomagnetic storm conditions possible tomorrow at around 10 p.m. When coronal mass injections strike Earth in the magnetosphere, they bring electrically charged particles called ions that collide with our planet's magnetic field. These collisions can spark geomagnetic storms. During the storms, ions collide with the atmospheric gases, release energy and light, and creates a stunning display known as the Northern Lights. These geomagnetic storms use in G-scale, which ranks their intensity from G1 minor to G5 extreme. The recent geomagnetic storm predictions are rated G5, indicating an extreme storm condition. These geomagnetic storms can be very unpredictable and challenging to forecast, much like Earth's weather. While geomagnetic storms warnings at a level are relatively common, they sometimes result in minimal activity. However, they can also exceed initial predictions and intensify to higher geomagnetic storm levels. So folks, stay optimistic and be prepared to keep an eye on the skies. You'll never know when the auroras might put on an extraordinary display. Now I've got some news that's coming about the moon may be much older than we thought. Further analysis of the lunar rocks and modeling will help scientists do better understanding of the moon and its history. Scientists have challenged prior conceptions about the information some 4.35 billion years ago in a new idea paper. The Earth and its moon are believed to have originated from similar materials and result in debris from massive impact when one large object, Planet X, hit another large object. According to the space agencies, the moon's formation was believed to be approximately 200 million years after that of our solar system. But that is a long time. Some see the idea of the collision forming the moon this late observations, and it doesn't account for the ages of some materials on its surface. This goes on to say a possible answer is that the moon underwent a remelting, resetting, and the age of the lunar rocks according to the three international scientists. They also predict that there shouldn't be any lunar rocks that are older than 4.35 billion years because they should have experienced the same resetting. Santa Cruz professor Francis Nimmo said in a statement, "Because the heating event was global, you shouldn't find rocks anywhere on the moon that is significantly older than that." This remelting was due to a tidal pull of the Earth causing heating and geological upheaval. In the process known as tidal heating, the gravitational forces between the two celestial bodies cause internal friction, resulting to the warming. It is said that this was likely to be pronounced in the moon's early history, citing models that showed its orbits would have been unstable during the periods in its early years. The instability would cause the experience of tidal forces from the Earth. There are parallels between this event and current volcanic activity on Jupiter's moon, which is driven by similar tidal forces. The remelting of the moon would also explain why there's fewer lunar impact basins from early hits than might have been expected. The paper comes after the research in 2024, research estimating that the Moon was 40 million years older than previously thought. The next research will work to understand how tidal heating could reset the age of the Moon. They noted that the lunar samples from China 6 mission will help to provide invaluable data and also the more detailed modelling as necessary. As more data becomes available, particularly from ongoing future lunar missions, the understanding of the Moon's past will continue to evolve. They also state, "We hope that the findings will spark further discussion and also exploration, ultimately leading to a clearer picture on the Moon's place in the broader history of our solar system." Okay folks, now what I've done is I've been able to go out last night to be able to capture some very interesting footage, pictures of very interesting artifacts of space rocks, asteroids, planets, some kind of other phenomena of strange apparitions. Now please take a real close look at these pictures as we continue the video to show the viewers what has been sighted. Okay, now this capture was taken around about 11:30 to 12 at night time. Now indeed it was pointed towards the night skies. This particular picture was pointed north, so indeed we were capturing something very, very interesting. Now in astronomical terms, I don't know how far away this is. It could indeed be about 12 to 13 astronomical units in kilometers. But indeed, whilst looking at the particular picture, I found it very interesting to capture something like this, because indeed when you zoom into the photograph, you pick up the dark apparitions, the dark shadows casting, and indeed there is a strange shape towards the object. At first it does look like identical as an asteroid. You can see a small object as well that looks like it's with it. You notice stars to the background on the particular photograph. A snapshot or something in space. But what took our observations was incredibly, we saw these dark formations, but there is 2 formations in front of it. Again, these formations could be off the camera lens, but indeed those objects weren't moving in those dark areas of view sight where we can see the shape and formation of an asteroid. Now this asteroid in particular was much lighter than any other asteroid that we viewed in space. I'll show you more asteroids as well, and you can see the characteristics that they look indeed like asteroids, but this formation looked indeed strange. You can see the sense of the formation by zooming in to this area. Look at this strange shape through the space rock. Are we seeing some kind of ghostly formation, an entity? I mean, again, you can see this strange shape just below where we see the space rock. It was only taken a short time ago. Let me just show you this again by zooming out to the particular picture using the NexStar telescope pointed to space. It was a clear night because indeed these past couple of days I wasn't able to capture anything because it's been very cloudy here in the United Kingdom. But something very interesting, just like what we're seeing on the screen, did show up across where we can see our solar system. Okay, so what I said as well by showing the artifacts of that strange object that we saw as well on the first photograph, this is another photograph where we see a huge asteroid. The characteristics looks very damning, as it is indeed an asteroid. Look at the shape and formation. I mean, this, folks, is in space. Let me just zoom into the area view sight so you can pick up the shape and formation of this space rock. Just detailed images of something again in space, smaller space rocks, other formations very close to this huge object. Let me just show you this in detail. You can see the cast shadows as well from the emitting light from the sun. Has this object been kicked out of the asteroid belt because of a huge collision? Planet X, Nibiru, space debris moving around our solar system, just bouncing off other gravitational pulls from other known heavenly bodies. just another amazing capture that was only taken a short time ago. This was pointed south around about 9 p.m. at night time on the dated stamp as well of the 22nd, just last night, folks. Incredible capture. And let me just zoom out as well to show you what was captured. Something very, very different. Again, when you look at it, it looks massive. I don't know how big or even wide or the length of this formation of an asteroid, but indeed in astronomical terms we could be looking at something like 6,000 to 7,000 kilometers away. When we pick up objects like you just saw on the screen in more detail, where we see the clarification of the formation of the photograph, it was much clearer, but this indeed is showing to be a little more blurrier in space, meaning that the object is further away. I mean, you can see the characteristics of the huge space rock in space. I mean, has this been calculated as a near-Earth object? I mean, it is absolutely amazing. When you see these flybys in space, it is indeed incredible. They tumble through space, folks, and then capturing it at one point, because it's very hard, because when you capture pictures and they start tumbling through space, it's quite hard to be able to catch a very stop image, meaning a stop image in relation to the picture, where we can freeze the photograph off the video evidence to be able to notice the smaller objects and the shape and how rough the object is, because normally when something's moving across space we see it very blurry. So indeed, that is another very important capture. Now, in our community, any scientific people that use telescopes as well, pointing out towards the heavens, please explain to us, leave a message below the video on what you think this is, because without a shadow of a doubt, I know what Uranus and Neptune look like as the blue objects to the further reaches of our solar system, but this object was even further away, and it looked like a huge comet, but in blue of a colour, because you can see the characteristics of the smaller area of view side where we see the clarification of an object, but noticeable in the background we can pick up the flare of asteroid, the space debris and space dust behind it. But a very interesting as well of the picture is we notice stars. You can see stars through the mist of where we see this blue object. It is absolutely incredible to be able to pick up something that has been undiscovered. Or has it been discovered? Do they know now, the powers that were, that this object is racing through space, causing a catastrophe that could cause something very, very dangerous to happen in our solar system? It seems to be heading our way, folks, this incredible capture of a huge blue space body. This was taken last week as well, and it was taken around about 10 at night time. So the calculations of this image pointed towards northeast, and indeed we're picking up stars. Now, when we pick up stars like this, things become much blurred out. We do this when we point to light refractions and also point towards stars and planets and other formations. They start to blur out, causing a sort of diamond shaped formation. It is just the lens on the camera that causes that, folks. But indeed we see stars like that as well by zooming in. But something else of a presence of a red celestial body in the background, between where we see the stars in the foreground and even further in the background of an object deep in space towards the asteroid belt. Now, a lot of people in our community respect and talk about Wormwood Star, a huge asteroid on a collision towards our world. It is spoken in the Bible as well, folks. Revelation 7 and 12. Now, when we look at this object, it is very, very important, because again we can see the characterizations where we saw the blue object, meaning the object being called Bluebonnet, or even another name as well, the Blue Kachina. But this object indeed looks like Wormwood Star, a huge red dragon, a mist in the deepness of space. Is it on our way towards Mother Earth? Will we see this phenomena in our lifetimes? It was captured again. It is out there, folks. Or it could be something else, just normal, just moving and lurking through space. Now, I was observing the heavens around about 10 to 10:30, quarter to 11, and I was pointing west, and I saw something very incredible. Now, with these interesting pictures, through using the telescope, we were able to pick up some very, very classified pieces of evidence, because indeed we're seeing something incredible, a huge star. And what took my amazement by this picture is that when we see comets through space, they seem to be moving away from us, or even moving past us to either side of where we see as the Earth is rotating. But this object, incredibly, seems to be moving towards us, because you can see the light refraction, the shape and formation deep in space with other smaller space rocks. There's about 2 to 3 of them on the particular picture. But this photograph actually blew me away, and I will always now start to observe this heavenly body in our solar system, because it seems to be growing greater in size. This is a photograph of the object. Now, when taking video evidence and looking through your telescope, it seems to move and rotate. You can see the formation now as the picture, but the formation, because of a distance of this object in astronomical terms, could be 375 billion kilometers away, folks, far out into space. But again, when thinking about it, of any object that moves, it seems to be coming towards us, towards our solar system. What could this be? This star. Now, where we see the characteristics and the picture and quality, and also the color formation of the object, when we saw it through the telescope, we could see it being blue. But now taking the picture and picking up the camera refraction of the image in real time of last night, it seemed to show up white. But the color as well that we saw was blue. So again, another incredible, very interesting capture. Okay, I always need to analyze the photographs. Again, the raw pictures, real pictures, okay, where I haven't enhanced them or changed the color or anything. But you can start to notice this blue refraction of light to the left side of the photograph. But indeed, this is real, as deep in space pictures where you can see and notice the smaller objects. But again, this object seems to be moving deep in space. You notice stars, the darkness of space. Let me just zoom into the area view site. We'll pick up the picture to this side of the photograph, and here we have the object again. As again we saw the first picture of the object where we could see the formation had changed. So this object again must be moving through space, and also seeing the space debris or some kind of phenomena. We could be seeing the blue Kachina here, folks. Right, folks, this is the last picture of the video, and what I did was I pointed the camera as far possible as I could as well with the computer and the telescope, and I was absolutely blown away, because what we're noticing here could be the asteroid belt. Now, where we see a lot of asteroids around this area, around our solar system, something is heading in through the asteroid belt, folks. Something of a huge object, a celestial body. But again, we could be seeing Sedna, a planet again that was spotted in 2005 by astronomers. Or we could be seeing Planet X. Now, with this calculation where we're seeing the astronomical unit in terms of how far away it is, you notice it's smudged out. Now again, if we were closer, much closer towards the object, you'll pick it up very clear, just like known heavenly bodies in our solar system. But this object again, you can see how the space debris and asteroids through the belt and showing up this object. I mean, what is it doing there, folks? Now, with the calculations again and the observations of planets like Jupiter, the largest celestial body in our solar system, go into this picture. This object must be about 7 to 8 times bigger in mass as picking up objects like Jupiter in our solar system. It's far too big. It's massive, folks. So what could this be? It is up there. It's out there, folks. We're noticing something celestial, something huge, entering our solar system, causing very strange orbits to Uranus and Neptune. Think about it. Something again that's being captured using the telescope. They must know, folks, the establishments, the scientific community, they must know that this heavenly body is out there. They've got the technology to be able to pick up things, but they're not saying a word. So again, folks, thank you for watching, and thank you for subscribing to the channel. I will come back to you a few hours later into time. I will go out tonight and I will pick up more images and evidence of strange objects in our solar system. Thank you. Take care. From Matt Rogers.